With you this afternoon from the Great National Park. We are also on the border of a mine, lots to fill you in on later, but we are currently on the road on the way to the location where the elephants are believed to be. I'm Michelle, I'm one of your hosts for this afternoon from Wild Wonderful World.
And I'm Amy from Ellie May.
And the plan for the afternoon is to get a little bit closer to where the elephants are. Then we're going to have a brief from the wildlife vets and the researchers on site, Michelle Henley from Elephants Alive and Joel Olves from Wildscapes Vets. And then all the action's going to kick off.
Hopefully we find this elephant.
Yes. So for those of you who joined us last time, we couldn't locate Derek in time for our second collaring. Oh, there's the helicopter.
Ooh, there's a helicopter.
So that is Jana Meyer from Hope for Wildlife Helicopters, and she is going to be our helicopter pilot this afternoon. She is ready and on standby. So I think while we bump along, hey Ames?
I think we'll touch base with you again in a little while's time when we've got a little bit more information.
We're just going to go to the meeting point. As I said, that's where you'll get your briefing, and then we'll take it from there, so you don't have to hear us bumping along on this road.
Go and grab a cup of tea or a glass of wine if you're in South Africa, and we'll see you shortly. Good afternoon, everybody. Now that we are off the bumpy vehicle, we'd like to reintroduce ourselves again. I'm Amy from Ellie May.
And I'm Michelle from Wild Wonderful World, and we are so thrilled for you to join us today. I know some of you got up extremely early from the States, from Canada. Perhaps you can all write in and say where you're watching from, but we're extremely very happy to have you with us today.
We've got someone from Hong Kong on the line. We've got all the Painteddog fans that are here all the time. Cookie Bee, Barbara, welcome everybody. For those who were not with us on the first collaring, just to give you a little bit of background, in August last year we collared an elephant cow. Everything went according to plan, and the day was supposed to end with the second collaring that afternoon, which was supposed to be a bull called Derek. We still have the collar for Derek. Derek is still going to be collared whenever he decides to show up again. Obviously with that collar dropping off, it was a lot harder to keep track of where he was. So today we are collaring a different elephant bull, one that's got quite an interesting story with regards to human-animal conflict, but we'll go into that a little bit later. We'd like to introduce Michelle Henley, Dr. Michelle Henley from Elephants Alive.
Lovely to be here and so happy to be back with the team collaring another elephant. These elephants are really, really important for us in this area because we've collared a couple of animals here, and because this area is very high in phosphorus because of the mining activities, we've seen that the elephants in this area have a much smaller home range. So collaring these elephants really give us an idea of how elephants move to obtain resources and micro and macro nutrients. So we're thrilled to be able to be collaring another elephant in this area. Thank you to everybody that's supporting us.
Absolutely. So Michelle is in charge of Elephants Alive, director of Elephants Alive, that's correct?
Yeah.
And they do a huge amount of research to understand not just elephant movement, but elephant behavior, which all leads to us understanding both elephants and how we can better protect them going forward. So as you say, it's really, really important to try and get as much data as possible, including information with migratory routes, lots of things that we don't quite understand yet with how they move, especially between vast open areas like the Kruger National Park and cross-border. So really exciting, I can imagine, to start getting all of that sort of data.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's incredible. And also this time of year, I mean, you'll see there's a lot of marula trees with marula fruits everywhere. And some of these bulls, one of the bulls that we want to collar today, they're inclined to move into areas outside of the protected areas to try and obtain these marula fruits, which can be very problematic for the traffic in terms of the roads that they're crossing and also the human-elephant conflict. So we're so glad we can fit a collar on this bull today to sort of have eyes on him while he's walking virtually. And I mean, maybe everybody watching can actually think of a name for this animal.
Yeah,
today.
that would be exciting.
That would be amazing. So yes, please all write in, put some suggestions, and then you can have a look at the end and then we can have a chat and decide about it. That would be amazing.
We've got people from Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, Canada, Colorado, Scotland. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes. And of course, please ask us as many questions as you like. This is a live virtual event for you to be as involved as possible. And we're going to give you the opportunity to speak to Michelle, ask questions to Michelle as well as her research team, and then of course to the wildlife vets and everybody else on the ground as well. So as many questions as possible.
So from here, what we're going to do is Joel, our vet, is going to do an introduction and let everybody know there's some members here that have not done a collaring before. So just basically get everybody on the same page before we get the chopper up in the air to see if we can find this bull. So I think maybe we go over to Joel.
Can we introduce you to Joel Alves, our vet from Wildscapes? I'm sure some of you have seen his face before.
Yeah, I think maybe everyone come around so then we can do a single briefing. Now Chris, come in here. How's it everyone, and welcome. Thanks a lot for joining us this afternoon. I'll sort of run through a little bit. I'll talk to the camera and to the people, otherwise it's going to get confusing. But we'll just run through a briefing so everyone sort of knows what to expect now from this point until hopefully we've got that Ellie in hand, safely collared and woken up and on his way. So essentially, just to introduce a couple important people in this team, we've got Jana, who's our helicopter pilot, plays an absolutely massive role, and hopefully you guys will get to see a part of that. her whole job is obviously to get me in a really great position to put a dart in, but not just that, is to safely guide the elephant to an area where we can work with it. So obviously, in an ideal world, we're looking for a place with a lot of roads. It's nice and open. The ground team can access it, and there's not a lot of struggle. And I say an ideal world, take it with a pinch of salt, because it can really go either which way today. So if you see the team running through some thick bush and a little bit of chaos, then it's not unexpected. So yeah, Jana's job's going to be get me into a good position to dart, control the Ellies. If there's any other Ellies in the area, it's really important for the ground teams to be able to come safely into that immobilized elephant, and Jana will use the helicopter then to push the other elephants away and just make a whole safe environment in constant communication with the ground teams. And then from a permitting perspective, everything that we do here in South Africa is permit controlled. So we always have an authority here, and we've got Dirk de Klerk with us from Limpopo Environmental Affairs today, and he'll just be here from a legality point of view to make sure everything runs smoothly, and we really do need to have him here today. And then I won't jump through too much of the rest of the team. You'll meet everyone as things are going on, and there's chaos. If you want to know a name, then shout out a description, although everyone's here in khaki and the same color, so it should be fun. Exactly. So essentially, Rons, can you pass me the dart gun there? And I left the dart on the seat there. We'll run through the process a little bit. So obviously, one of the bulls we after today, or in the area, thanks a lot, has got a collar on him, and so what we're hoping is usually the bulls will move in these sort of little bachelor groups, and so we can use the collar. We've got the latest download. We'll see where he is, and then within his sort of group, we're going to try and target another bull that requires a collar. And so the hope is once we go and get airborne here, we'll fly to the location point, find out where this Ellie is, and then hopefully he's got some mates with him so we can pick up one of those bulls. And then the plan is to put a dart in there and collar that animal. So essentially the dart looks like this for Chris. This is it over here. So it uses a little bit of a percussion charge at the end here. This is the dart chamber, so obviously the drugs will go into here, and then this is the needle. As you can see, it's very, very long. You can imagine an elephant's got incredibly thick skin, so you've got to penetrate that skin and then the little subcutaneous tissue so that you can get into the muscle where there's a really good blood supply, and that'll be where the drug absorption is going to take place. We shoot it out of this gun here. It uses a little blank 2-2 blank charge, and so you load it up. It looks a little bit like a bullet, but it's not at all. And the dart literally just goes inside here, and then, as I mentioned, Jana will hopefully get me into a good spot, and I won't miss. An elephant's fairly big, but it's happened before, so hopefully not today. And then typically the drugs are incredibly potent, depending on what textbooks you decide to read in that. The opioids we use, it's the same drug class as morphine, just anywhere from sort of 8,000 to 10,000 times stronger. So you can imagine we're only using a really tiny volume of liquid, ultimately, probably as much as 2 mils, to knock down an adult bull elephant. So it's exceptionally potent. The beauty of it though is that it's completely reversible, which means we've got an antidote, which we'll hopefully be able to show you guys. You know, if he's in a good area, we can all watch the wake up, and you'll see once the antidote is administered, and anywhere from sort of 90 seconds to 2 minutes, he'll be up and on his feet and on his way. There's a couple negative side effects to the opioids. They get a really high blood pressure, and so we add another drug, which is called a zaparone, and it's a bit of a sedative and a tranquilizer, and that just brings down the blood pressure. So you'll see I've got my veterinary team, Tandia and Leah here, who will be monitoring that on the back of the ears. We'll show you guys. We'll see the arteries and the veins, and often you'll see they bulge in quite a lot if the blood pressure is really high, and we'll just sort of monitor them from that perspective. So once the dart goes in, we hope anywhere from sort of 7 to 10 minutes. Sometimes it's a little bit longer if the dart is not in an ideal spot, or maybe if the dose is a little bit lower, if the bull's in must. Any of those things can sort of affect it, and sometimes it can take as long as 12 to 15 minutes. Usually by that point though, we're already considering putting a second dart in just to top him up and try and get him down as quickly as possible. So you might hear, depending on where the cameras are and whatever's going on, you might hear that Jana will call the darts in to the ground team. They'll get closer to the area, and then we'll all come in there and Jana will guide them in, and then you guys will see exactly what's going to go on there. I won't dabble too much into what's going to happen on the ground, because everyone sort of will have a job, and as we go around, they'll explain everything that they're doing. We'll take it nice and easy and nice and slowly. The only situation that I'd just like to point out where that might not happen, and then just keep glued to your screens, and please don't walk away and go get a Coke, because when you come back, maybe the elephant has been woken up. But elephants, unlike any other land mammals, their lungs are attached to their body wall, so they don't have any sort of pleural space there, what we call a pleural space. So they believe this is an anatomic adaptation that allows them to swim underwater and use their trunks as sort of a snorkel. then there's no negative pressure buildup in the chest, which would cause lung collapse. What that means from our perspective is if an elephant goes down on its chest, it cannot expand its chest and breathe properly. There's also a lot of pressure from all those massive abdominal organs, which means they really cannot breathe well. So typically if an Ellie goes down on its chest, the first thing we decide is, okay, can we move it? And we'll spend about 5 minutes. We'll either put a rope around the tusks and we'll pull it over, or we'll maybe have to cut some trees or whatever it may be and just use a little bit of power. We've got a lot of people here, and we'll try and push it onto its side. Once an Ellie's on its side, we're good to go. We'll keep the trunk nice and open. We'll monitor it, but if it goes down on its chest, then we cannot move it. We've got about 15 to 20 minutes to make sure we get that collar on and everything done. So just as a note, if this Ellie goes down on the chest, you know, the animal's welfare is our priority, so things might happen really, really quickly. In addition, in the worst case scenario, if it happens to go down in a really terrible spot, or it goes down really horribly and we have to decide right then and there that we need to wake it up immediately, it's also a case that might happen. We hope not, but just in terms of worst case scenario, it's just to understand that in all likelihood, or not in all likelihood will that happen, I hope. So hopefully it'll go smoothly, and we'll sort of run through everything as we go. And I think just not talking so much to the camera, but just the team's perspective, we must just sort out the vehicles. Dirk, if you're happy to lead, I'll give you the radio. We've only got one ground to air, and then I think if my vehicle can come second, I know that sucks big time for the dust that with the filming vehicle. From your guys' perspective, is the vehicle fine at the third there?
Yeah.
There's no, I mean, okay.
Do what you need to do.
Yeah,
that's
no
important.
problem.
Okay, cool. So we'll do it like that, and then Ron's, I think. There's a lot of guys on the ground. The biggest thing is the chainsaw and the ropes if we need it. Jana will call down from the helicopter if we see it's gone down sternal, or we see, you know, there's a tree there that it's really lying horribly on. I think chainsaw and a rope must just be there as soon as possible. You've seen how it does. I think just guide the guys on the ground as well if we need to flip it onto its side. Guys, and then, I mean, probably everyone's seen the viral video where the guy got flipped by the Ellie when he was standing on the wrong side. When he missed the safety briefing. So just if we're pushing an Ellie over, you 100% can help to a point. But as soon as that Ellie goes over, I promise you those bottom legs are going to come out. So typically we'll put a rope around the tusk, flip the rope over the head, and then rather the guys just help there and pull it across. Often all the sort of waypoints and the tipping points on the weight on the head. So if you can control the head and we can push the head over, you can generally get it over pretty easily. So if that happens and we're pulling him over, just make sure you're not in that vicinity. If you are, just make sure the camera's that side filming that so that everyone can enjoy it. But yeah, just try and stay away from the legs if we're pushing the Ellie over. Beyond that, I think safety-wise, if there's other bulls and that, once again, Jana will just communicate with you guys if it's safe to come in there, and we'll push the rest off and hopefully find them there. I think pretty much covers everything.
Barbara's very happy with your explanation.
Yeah.
Okay, good. At least everything's covered. I think it was everything. But yeah, like I said, as we carry on, just ask questions. It's much easier when we're busy with things to run you guys through it. Typically, I mean, we hope if everything goes well and we've got the Ellie down on his side, anywhere from sort of 40 to 45 minutes, we'll have him down doing everything, explaining everything, getting the collar on and doing all of that. So we should hopefully have some time. What we'll probably do is we're going to have to, we can kill some time with questions or things like that, but we'll probably wait. As you guys can see, it's quite
Very
sunny
hot.
here,
It's
and
about 35 degrees
yeah,
Celsius.
It's very, very hot, so we're waiting for it to cool down a little bit, and then we're going to start. So what you might see, is just as a note, is a lot of elephant thermoregulations happens from the ears. So we'll pour water on the ears, and we've got leaf blowers and all kinds of things to try and mitigate that as much as possible. And I think that covers most of it.
Great explanation.
Need anything else?
Hello, Gabby from Switzerland.
Cool, thanks.
Cool. I'm going to mix a dart
Yep.
quickly. If you guys.
All right.
Maybe
Did have.
do you want to have a look? Jana, do you want to have a bit? Hello. I'd love to bring in Jana here.
Sunglasses. Hi everyone.
It's an amazing opportunity, everybody, to speak to a wildlife helicopter pilot. Wild Wonderful World and Hope for Wildlife helicopters do work quite a lot. So we're very, very happy to have you here with us today. Are you excited for the day?
Very excited, yeah, and it's always a privilege. Michelle, you guys do wonderful work, and yeah, to be part of an operation like this is always a privilege. It never gets old. So
For sure.
it doesn't matter how many times you've done it. It's always different. Like Joel explained, you never know exactly how it's going to go down. So it's going to be very interesting to see, and it is quite difficult terrain. So this is probably one of the most difficult.
I was going to
elephant
ask you
catches.
about that. I don't know if anybody can see all
power
around
lines.
us here. We've got a couple of power lines. It's
Very rocky.
quite hilly as well.
And the main thing is also there's not enough roads. Well,
Yes.
I wouldn't say not enough, but there's not plenty roads
Yeah.
for us to put the elephant and to get the ground team actually close to the road.
Right,
So-
because a big part of what you're doing, it's one thing getting the vet into a position to put the dart in, but then we still
That's
have
the
to
easy bit.
access the elephant.
That's the easy bit. I always explain that you can hit that target, but what happens after?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of planning that goes in before we actually put in the dart. So you plan before where you want that elephant to go down, and you know exactly how much time it's going to take. If the dart hits properly, there's a lot of variables. So yeah, every time we have that elephant in the road, it's a huge accomplishment, and we're very happy.
That would be amazing.
Connie O'Neill says, hi, Yana.
Thank you. Hi, Connie.
What kind of techniques do you use to try and guide that elephant into an area that is accessible?
Well, it's basically they react so well to helicopters, just the noise, but they definitely react well. So you'll see, I'm not on top of that elephant. The closest I'll get is when the dart is in, and then I usually retaliate because it's not necessary to put pressure on him. They react the best when you actually retaliate, you hang back, and they can hear that chopper, and he reacts super well.
Okay.
And
And
usually that's
will
the
you be
case.
using the chopper to try and push the other bulls a little bit further away
Yes,
from
for
the
them,
side?
I'll put pressure on them and get the message loud and clear that they're not supposed to be there. So
Yeah.
Awesome.
There
And I
will be-
think from our first collaring to this one, we've actually got a live feed in the helicopter, which is really, really exciting. So fingers crossed that it all goes according to plan. But you'll be able to see a little bit more as to what Jan has been talking about. And I think that's an amazing opportunity.
We've got Peter Sanderson on the chat here. Hi, Peter. He used to be a helicopter pilot as well. And he
He'll
says
find it
he misses helicopter flying a lot. So I'm sure he'll be super excited to see.
We've got Valma asking, where is this taking place? So we're certainly in Africa and it's incredibly hot. We're basically just outside Palabora at the Foscor mine, adjacent to the mine. We've got this area that opens up to the Kruger National Park. And because this mine has got so much phosphate,
Lots of different
minerals, it's become a draw card for these elephants to break into this area, and obviously that's where the human-animal conflict is coming up. Because there's obviously a mineral lacking in their diet, which is why they keep coming through here. So this is an incredibly critical animal to collar and to get a little bit more information of, or at least about. I mean, if there's something missing out there, what is it out there that we can maybe try and resolve to prevent them from trying to get the minerals here?
And it's just amazing to see how many elephants and buffalo and all sorts of animals are here. Even up the top here, there are hippo.
Yeah, we saw loads of hippo tracks. Yeah.
So they just learn to cope with the noise. They don't mind the noise of the mine, nothing. They just continue all happily.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Amazing.
Love
Anyway.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy. Thank you so much for
It's a
chatting to us.
pleasure.
We're going to leave you to get ready and prep.
Thank you. Okay.
Brilliant. Thanks,
Yeah,
Jana.
cool. All right. Maybe
See if we have any other questions coming through.
Very nice to see some familiar names here. Dawn Real. Hi, Dawn. How are you? We've got Cookie Bee, Barbara.
That's CJ from New York. We've got people from all over here.
Very exciting. We feel very privileged that you've all joined us here today. And again, we'll say it many, many more times, but we're extremely thankful for you all buying a ticket to join, because every single cent that you've donated is going towards the cost of this collaring today.
Which is an incredibly expensive operation to try and get together.
Okay. Well, I think what's going to happen is the vets are just prepping darts. They usually prep more than one dart ahead of time, just in case, as Joel says. I've flown a little bit with Joel and been with him for quite a few darts, and he isn't usually one to miss, but it's good to have a backup. You never know what the situation is. All right, so everybody's just prepping. They're going to jump in the helicopter soon. Yeah, maybe we can have a little walk to the edge and
see a bit of the terrain.
Should we do that?
Yeah.
So, yes, no, but we darted.
I like that Cookie Bee, that we should name this elephant Waldo. Because
more for
that's
Derek.
Derek's name, because we couldn't find Waldo. Or Wally, where's Wally? I don't know. It's not a bad name. We'll keep that one for sure.
I do like Waldo. We'll have
Waldo's
to ask
good?
Michelle Henley if she's got a Waldo.
So this, just now when we turn the camera, you'll be able to see there's a lot of koppies in the area, which are little mountainous rocky outcrops, which make the helicopter flying and the elephant going down a little bit trickier.
Are we going to be able to get up here?
Oh, we're going to try. Might grab 1 or 2 snakes in the process. All right. So, I mean, there's
worth the view.
all these little areas here that are close to the roads. You can see have got a little bit more space on either side. But anywhere here, if this elephant decides to go down into a valley, I mean, it could get interesting.
It's a beautiful view,
interesting. It's beautiful.
The way that I don't know if you can see it on camera, the Drakensberg Mountains in the distance, they're very, very faint.
Yeah, we can see them.
Nice. Can you hear the birds?
But yeah, I'm a little bit jealous of how cold it must be in the States at the moment, because it's about 35 degrees and it's 4:05. Very hot.
Well, we're just so thrilled to be here with you all after the disappointment of not having
Of Derek
last
6
time.
months ago. And I mean, a lot's changed in the last 6 months in terms of the terrain, not the terrain, the weather, the seasons. So when we collared the first elephant cow in August last year, it was in the middle of winter. We were in puffy jackets and beanies, and it was very, very, very cold. Here it's a completely different situation. It's very, very hot. It's much thicker, it's much greener, which might make things a little bit more complicated. And obviously with the heat and Joel's explanation of breathing and how the animal goes down, we're going to have to try and work as quickly as possible. So keep that in mind if things do get a little bit rushed as we go.
Yeah, it is beautiful to see the bush so green. I mean, if I think back to some of the years where we haven't had nearly as much rain, we've had a good amount of rainfall this year, and it's so wonderful to see the bush looking so green this year and all the grass. And
which is also an interesting point when you think about why this particular group of bulls keep breaking in. I mean, Michelle Henley mentioned that it's marula fruiting season, so there's a massive amount of food available, a massive amount of water available, and yet still is this constant break-in to get this particular mineral. So interesting season to be doing this collaring.
yeah, are we going to get a thumbs up from...
Dawn says it's 35 degrees Fahrenheit there. Well, that's a little bit colder than it is here.
Shall we swap?
You can see on our shirts our colour is getting a little bit darker as the day goes on.
That's what it's all about.
Absolutely. I think we're going to head back to the chopper and see if everyone's ready and see if we can get this process started.
Okay.
Such a beautiful day for
Don't
this.
slip there, hey?
Yeah,
We'll find you on the other side of the hill.
Well, we
Go
mustn't.
ahead.
We better not fall here. Some rocks here. There we go. It's another thing, you know, you think that there's a beautiful lush open grassland, but you walk down a little section and there's just rocks everywhere. Also being so close to a mine with all the explosions and everything that happens and everything getting, what's the word? How do I put this correctly? I've lost my words. I don't know. Everything exploding all over the show. Rocks everywhere. It's not the best terrain.
You want to have a look at the helicopter? My husband's a helicopter pilot as well. If he's listening, Grant, hello. So it's always a nice thing for the people who are interested in helicopters to have a closer look at the helicopter. Jana's flying a beautiful one today.
I think we need to put an Ellie May sticker on the back of this R44.
We have to get across there for that chapter, and then from there to the next.
Dawn's asking how many collarings have we done. I'm going to come back to the front here. Dawn, myself, maybe, good question, 7 or 8 now, maybe a few more. I mean, certainly Jana and Joel and the team on the ground, many more. If you look at the numbers from Elephants Alive, I mean, I know
they've collared over 200, yeah.
It's over 200 elephants collared, so we're amongst a pretty well-versed team when it comes to
collaring. Absolutely.
Yeah.
as well. They're in Minnesota.
All right. Does anybody have any questions before
While
the
we wait,
madness starts?
just trying to wait a little bit for the temperature to drop as well. Often when you do these colorings, you'll find there's quite a lot of hurry up and wait, and you wait for the right, everything to sort of fall into place. You've got to make sure everyone's ready, everyone's on the same page, because once that chopper's up and once that dart is in, it's chaos. So hopefully we'll get going soon. Rick J. Cam says, is that heli based out of Hoedspruit? It is based out of Hoedspruit.
Hi, Dad.
Rick J. Cam. It's Michelle's dad.
Yes, it is based out of Hoedspruit. It's one of the ones that we use for a lot of local operations here. And Hope for Wildlife Helis, Jana, they do a lot of conservation focused flying. So we're really excited to be flying with her today. Should we go and get an update from the vets and ask them what's the plan?
I think so,
A
yeah.
little bit. Let's go ask them.
Thank God he had another.
So Carol, you are asking what weight the collar is. So Joel, maybe, do you know exactly how much that collar weighs?
I actually don't, Tim.
Michelle, we'll go have a chat to Michelle.
I'll go and ask Michelle.
Yeah, I think 5 or 10 minutes we'll get airborne,
Okay.
and then we'll have a squiz, and then that means by the time you guys are that side, 4:30, hopefully we'll have dart in and be doing something.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay, well
'Cause at
let's.
least there's a little bit of a breeze here.
It is still. You're just waiting for it to cool down a little
Yeah,
bit. Yeah,
yeah.
it's crazy hot.
Very hot.
Okay, well we'll have a quick chat again to Michelle, and then maybe we'll go on a coffee and tea break from everybody watching, and then get ready for all the action to go.
Let's ask Michelle how much
yeah.
an elephant's collar weighs.
I think it's 18 kgs.
We'll have
Let's
to see.
check.
Michelle, we've got a question for you. What weight is the collar?
It's about between 10 and 12 kilograms.
And that's with the weight.
Yeah,
That's with the weight.
Yeah. So
10
it's
and
more
12
or less-
kgs.
It's got balanced the top with the electronics versus the counterweight, so that it's always facing skyward for
The GPS satellite.
reception.
Okay. So it's actually not that heavy considering an elephant's weight. No.
Yeah.
No, if you weigh 3,000 kilograms,
Yeah.
6,000 kilograms, it's nothing.
little
pinprick.
Wearing a necklace.
Please, please, while we've got this
Maybe we can get it.
moment
Can we
with
get
Dr.
it?
Michelle Henley, please ask some more questions. First School of Life is excited to be here. Hope it goes smoothly. So do we. Okay, keep those questions coming.
Thank you.
Here's the collar.
Ah, great. Good. Without
Maybe
the
we can just
counterweight.
talk through it a little
Get
bit.
it.
What do you mean, get the counterweight? I'm fine with this, thanks. There we go. I'm going to come in between us again. So maybe you can just talk us through the collar.
Yeah, so I mean the collar's got a GPS in it, which gives a location, and then it's obviously also got the very old technology from the 1960s, the very high frequency transmitter, which you then use an antenna and a receiver to try and locate that animal. So what happens is we get the GPS coordinates of where this animal is via the internet. And also if you sponsor a collar, we sometimes give you a password to follow that elephant on Google Earth, which is really cool, but it's time delayed, so for security reasons for the animal. But anyway, the routine is when we go and look for this animal after it's been collared is we'll download the data off the internet, see where it is, take the iPad out with us. And then because we don't have the GPS coordinate coming in every 10 minutes so that we can have the battery of the collar lasting much longer, we'll set it on hourly or even 4 hourly depending on the study animal.
That's what Velma W.
Yeah.
wanted to know.
How long will the collar transmit, and what happens if it stops transmitting?
Well, then we've got to try and replace it, but that's where the old technology comes in, the VHF transmitter. We'll use the VHF to try and find it. So you try and navigate to that GPS point as quick as possible, and then when you're at the point, you pull out the antenna and you start listening. So the old technology kicks in, and then you find direction, and then you 9 times out of 10 you actually find the animal.
And Dawn R69 is asking, are bulls or cows easier to dart, or is it much of a muchness?
Bulls are far easier to dart because they're not as protective of each other when they're in a group. The cows are very, very protective. And they also don't, the elephants don't understand when they see one of their companions going down. Sometimes they think that animal might have perished, and then they try and lift it up, and that's why the helicopter is also there. It has to move the other animals out of the area so that it's safe for us to work.
Yeah.
And there has been stress levels measured on elephants that have been collared, and it is quite high, the stress levels while they're being collared, but the minute they reunite, it goes right down again. So it's that separation that's actually stressful for the animals.
CJ here is asking, does the elephant get medical evaluation, or do you administer any other medication whilst it's down?
So, I mean, the vets, if we pick up scars or injuries, they'll give antibiotics. But no, we've never been in a situation where we've had to administer anything else.
Unless, of course, it's an animal that's had a snare wound.
Then it's a totally different operation.
Completely different operation.
Maybe you can tell us a little bit about what measurements that you take once the elephant's been darted.
Okay, so I've got a really experienced team. I mean, for myself, this is collaring operation number 178. And I've got Jessica Walmart with me and Ronnie Makakulu.
IMJ was asking if we could meet the team. Maybe when we find them in a minute.
See, most of the team's hiding in the shade at the moment. We're the crazy ones standing in the sun.
But anyway, so Ronnie will be helping me fit the collar, and Jessica will be taking the morphometric measurements. So we measure tusk length, back length, we measure the circumference of the foot, we measure shoulder height, but then we also take very important biosamples. So we take blood samples for DNA analysis. We take fecal samples, which is always fun.
How does that exactly work?
Oh, we'll see.
You need the longer your arm, the easier it is.
I love being a short person.
But anyway, we get corticosteroids from that to look at stress levels. And then we also take tail hair samples, because the tail hair is like a timeline on short-term dietary changes. So we use carbon isotope analysis to look at that. We can also use the tail hairs for DNA analysis. And we also take a small little piece of the toenail, and that's really important in this area that we're in, because that tells us a lot about the micro and macro nutrients that animal has been absorbing.
Through the toenail?
Well, it's just expressed in the toenail.
Okay.
So, and that's why they're in this area. They're attracted to the phosphorus.
Okay. And what do you do with all of the data that you collect?
Well, we bank a lot of it. The tracking data is looked at daily, and we look at stuff like home range. These collars are amazing because they've got speed alarms in it, so it can tell us when the animal's slowing down for whatever reason. We could see how close they come to humans, which or infrastructure like roads, and in this case this is critical because this elephant goes to a very busy road, and we're actually trying to prevent that. So we need to know where that animal is. There's so many things. I mean, we can look at social structure of elephants. So we usually, on a routinely basis, we track an elephant in the field, and then we see which elephant is associating with that elephant. And we've got an ID database of over 2,000 elephant ear patterns. And that's where Ronnie Makakulu comes in. He's amazing. He's got a photographic memory. So he can recall about 800 elephant ear patterns from memory.
Oh, wow. Unbelievable.
And that's, we use the collars to find the associating animals. And
that's really incredible.
That's really important.
There's a question from Mr. Campbell. Now I know that Rick J. Cam is Mishy's dad. Is there any evidence that replacing the elephant collars causes less stress to that animal or the herd involved? Because
they've already had it once, I guess.
No, I mean...
I'm going to go put this down, sorry, 1 second.
Okay. That's quite a good question. But we've actually seen with bulls that, once they've been darted, they know what's coming, and they sometimes just reverse into a bush so that you can't dart them in the rear, and you really have to flush them out. So I don't think it's something that they get used to, and it also happens so infrequently that I don't think...
I think also when the dart goes in, it's from the chopper, which, as Jana was explaining a little bit earlier, they are not too comfortable with the sound of the chopper. So I think as they come over, whether the dart's in or not, I think it's more the sound of that helicopter. And then one other thing, and maybe we can get our other two here involved.
Look who I found.
Ronnie and Jess.
This is Ronnie and Jess, both part of the Elephants Alive team. We've got a question from Dawn R69. How old is the elephant that we'll be collaring today?
Oh
Ronnie actually saw them from the
Yeah,
air.
I saw him yesterday, and it's between 20 and 25 years.
20 and 25. And Michelle was saying that your ability to recall elephant ear patterns is extraordinary. Does this particular elephant have any distinct ear pattern markings or tears?
I saw him on the air, so...
A little bit tricky to see.
Yeah. So
Okay.
after today, then I'll see his ear patterns. Maybe I can know him after this.
And what do you think a good name is? We had someone earlier ask about Waldo because we couldn't find Derek. So where's Waldo? We've got Wally. Maybe where's Wally?
Yeah, I think we're having so many names in our photo library. I think the team has run out of names. So
We definitely need some help.
yeah, we need help from the guys.
Okay. Well, Carol CG is saying hi, Ronnie and Jess.
Hi, Carol.
Jess, do you want to mention a bit about what your involvement is with Elephants Alive and your studies?
Yeah, so
You stand next to it with the mic.
Sure.
yeah, so I've been at Elephants Alive not as long as Ronnie. Ronnie's kind of part of the furniture. But yeah, so we have collared elephants that move from southern Kruger all the way to Tembe or southern Mozambique, almost to Maputo Special Reserve. So we have a proof of concept in South Africa where we're trialing basically a coexistence project where we're looking at different crop types that aren't really attractive to elephants, but that has an essential oil potential, because we've seen in South Africa there's a huge market for that. So we're trialing everything in South Africa, learning basically how to grow everything, and then we're going to be testing it with habituated elephants, like giving them the options of what to choose and which they eat and which they don't eat. Then we'll know which plants we can actually introduce into Mozambique. So we're working with these communities and introducing them to this model. And then with that, we'll be also introducing beehive fences. And the whole concept is to really promote coexistence between these amazing elephant movements and the people obviously on the ground that are having to deal with conflict. So, yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
So this is
it's a
a...
long-term vision that Michelle is paving the way for. And our elephants are actually, they're showing us the way really, and we're just following in their footsteps. So it's very exciting. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Everything we're doing here, we're just going to be introducing into Mozambique.
Excellent.
It is awesome seeing some of the data that the collars are producing as you see them moving down through the Kruger National Park, just hopping over the Mozambique border all the way down into
Yeah, we had
Swaziland.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And the distances are huge.
Yeah, I know.
We've got Connie O'Neill asking, do the elephants try and remove the collar, and do the others in the herd try and investigate the collar?
No, they don't. They don't try and remove it. They can't really remove it, but they do try and adjust it. I mean, we've had one bull, after we collared him, the collar was sitting a little bit skew in that the electronic portion was leaning to the one side, and he just pulled the counterweight and sort of straightened his tie.
Straightened his
off.
tie.
So we were really grateful. But no, they don't really
Being
interact
12
with the
kg
collar.
necklace around an animal that size is not too massive.
Joel's just given us a bit of a wave. It looks like everybody's climbing into the helicopter.
Amazing.
So it looks like we're about to get going here.
Now the fun begins.
Move out, there's going to be a lot of dust.
Okay, let's move out the way here.
Okay, everyone. Well, we'll hopefully be able to keep you with our live feed. Please, if we do go in and out of areas where we lose signal, please stick with us and wish us all luck. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Yeah, we're going to be live out of the chopper as well, so the chopper will always have signal. Just
Oh, awesome. Yep. We've got Brent here. Wave hello, Brent.
We're with Brent.
Yeah, so we're going to hop in here. Brent was just saying, I don't know if you heard, but we've got a camera in the helicopter, so they'll always have feed even if we on the ground don't.
Be interesting for you to, if they get that angle of how the elephants react to the helicopter, will be quite an interesting view to have.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, I think we better get going.
Just careful where you put in that camera while we climb up.
ready?
Put the aircon on.
Put it covering all the cameras.
Barbara wishes she was in the helicopter. Barbara, it is one of the funnest parts of this operation, that's for sure.
Yes, there's going to be some pictures up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, and they're off. It's quite easy for them to just fly off in the helicopter.
Takes them 2.6. Well, let's see. I mean, when we tried to collar Derek, we went up in that helicopter and we flew around for quite some time and there was nothing there. And that was winter, so there was not nearly as much vegetation around.
Yeah, you'd think it's easy to spot an elephant from the air. It's actually not. They are incredibly camouflaged.
I Am Jay says, I've seen Lana, I think Yana, fly up close. She is a brilliant pilot. She is a brilliant pilot. We've got quite a good representation of the female here today.
Yes, and Brent.
And
Where's
Brent.
all the girls on your team?
Right behind him.
Well, I guess just very, very different, both of them, but it is an extraordinary experience to get up there.
And such a different feeling than being in a plane. You almost feel like you're floating a little bit. It's crazy.
Yeah. When there's not thermals.
Yeah.
Yeah, Marcia, it is a little bit more open. We're sort of on the top of a kopje up here, so it's a bit flatter. It's quite a mix. There's some grassland. I'm pretty sure we're going to get into some thicker bush, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
Brian, we've got no feet out of the chopper.
Especially also on a day like today when it is still so hot, you'll probably find that these elephants will be hiding under trees in the shade, just trying to cool down. So it's going to be interesting to see how quickly we can locate them from the chopper. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Well, as we're driving as well, we're going to be keeping our eyes open. And we're just working on our helicopter feed for you. I don't think there's anything that makes me happier than driving through the bush though.
No, in an open skodonk of a vehicle. It's brilliant.
Got no feet.
Oh, are we down?
No, Brian, chopper.
We're not down.
Chopper. So hopefully we'll get that chopper feed up and running with you as soon as possible.
We're just about to go over some Ellie dung. There's certainly presence of elephants in the area. Sorry, I should have given you a heads up.
You just see a couple of those pale patches on the road are actually the tracks of an elephant or elephants.
Yeah, there are plenty
There
of
are
tracks.
certainly a lot around.
We're going in the right direction. We'll try and keep an eye open on where they're driven as well.
Traveling with Marcia says, sorry if I missed it, but did you say where you are? We are just outside Palabora at the Foscore, or just adjacent to the Foscore mine in the Great Limpopo National Park.
Well, it's quite a beautiful spot actually. We're in between the Olifants River and the Salati River.
Yeah.
So it's quite an interesting sort of band of land here, and then you've got all the kopjes as well. It's very picturesque.
Yeah, beautiful. Keep those questions coming. Gabby said she would be scared flying in that helicopter without the doors. Gabby, I know you've been on many a game viewers without doors, so I think you'd cope.
Brent, I'm quite enjoying the Badger here. Very comfortable seat at the back.
It is?
Yes.
I never sit there.
She's lying.
Check your encoder. Reboot the encoder. To hold a brand, so.
I have no idea what those are. Tracks go straight.
There we go.
Oh, this looks like our standby point. Everyone's waiting.
Nice shady tree.
Yay for shade.
Oops.
Oh, I don't know if you can hear it, but the European bee eaters are calling. One of my favorite calls.
Yeah, oh, beautiful.
Cookie Bee's asking who's on camera. I'll show you, Cookie.
Let's test out your skills, Hamish.
Hello everyone.
Don't know if you're...
I'm sitting on the bonnet here. It's quite comfy. I think we should actually do more game drives like this.
I think so. That's why the trackers sit on the bonnet. Thank you.
What animal has been the hardest to dart in your experience? We need to ask Joel that question, I think. I personally have not darted any animals myself. And I'm sure Joel will give us a little bit more info about that.
Yeah.
What's been your hardest?
My experience, it's wild dogs.
Because they just never stop moving.
They never stop moving, but they're inherently a little bit nervous as well.
Yeah, I would definitely say any small predator
Yeah.
would be a difficult animal to dart.
Yeah. Hey, let's ask Leah. Leah's also part of the veterinary team. Leah, we've got a question. Which is the most difficult animal to dart, in your opinion?
God. Brain can answer that question.
Wild dogs. Okay, that's...
There you go, wild dogs.
Two votes for wild dogs then.
Good job.
Like this big.
Yes.
Yeah, tiny target.
I think I've watched Joel dart one into the nose before. That is a good one. Sorry. Well, Carol's very happy that it's you, Matt. No, Carol, we would not want to be sitting here following wild dogs. Not through this thick bush. I'm actually not sure that we would be able to. Though, I mean, many animals do follow the path of least resistance. So maybe they would follow the road for parts of it. But if they saw anything and darted off the road, it would be a little bit more tricky.
Yeah. Following wild dogs is one of the hardest, for sure.
Yeah.
So we can't hear that helicopter anywhere. Which means that elephant might be either in some very, very thick bush or a little bit further than we thought.
Maybe they've gone down into a bit of a valley.
Bum, 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 bum.
I mean, that's naughty.
Crazy how close we are to the mine.
Yeah, it's so tricky. I mean, there's always a question about fencing, and we won't get into that now about whether fences are good or bad, and keeping animals safe from people and people safe from animals. But when we look at some of the data that Elephants Alive have collected with the collars, you know, to be able to see elephants moving in and out of reserves and between reserves, imagine how...
And between communities.
But imagine, because of them being able to move between the fences, they're mixing up their genetics, they're strengthening their populations between reserves as well. It's such a massive, massive benefit.
Yeah.
But I guess it's just when the conflict happens, it gets a little bit more tricky.
Which is why I think what Jess was mentioning a bit earlier with the beehive fencing is such a critical one. It's such a... I know that they've done that in Uganda when the forest elephants come down and raid all the croplands there, and it worked absolutely brilliantly in East Africa. So I think it's proving to be pretty successful. But as with all research, these things take a long time to show their benefit.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that's a long time.
We've got some communication with the helicopter, it seems.
Not yet. Just waiting for an update.
I think we should just move a little bit closer.
Okay.
I think that behind that
Okay. All right. We're just going to move a little bit closer. It sounds like the helicopter's beyond the ridge on the other side, so we'll probably go sit up on that next ridge.
Do you want to pass me that red and black cable you'll see? Right? Yeah.
Randy, they're just behind this ridge.
Okay. We get very nervous of ridges.
The first elephant that we collared back in August went down on a ridge, but we knew there would be no signal either side of that ridge. And I don't know how we got so lucky, but she went down on the top of the ridge. Who of you watching today was part of that collaring?
Yeah, we'd love to hear your thoughts on the differences between the cow collaring and the bull, the terrain, the team, everything.
It's a nice view outside.
We can see the helicopter just on the ridge over there.
There's the chopper there.
Yeah, we've got the chopper over there.
Yes, Cookie, you were with us last time.
I think Barbara was also here last time.
Barbara, you were with us. Jenna B, yep, I remember Jenna B.
I think Gabby was as well.
This is always the most nerve-wracking part of can they find the elephant? If they don't find the elephant, can we give it a new term? Can we just call it like the Derek effect or something?
The Derek effect. If we can't find this one, then I think we're going to have to go with Waldo.
If we can't do an elephant, we're not going to do a wild dog. Is that what you said?
No, I said we can call this one Waldo.
Oh, Waldo, yes. Very fitting.
It's very bumpy. We're going quite fast to try and catch up to where the helicopter is.
Don't fall off.
Bear with us.
Yeah, there is a really big bump coming. No, they're going fast. I think we don't have the information, but the dog might be in if they've managed to locate.
Yeah. This is what we were talking about a little bit earlier with how quickly everything happens from when that chopper's up in the air and they found that elephant. Whatever you do, hold on to your hats.
Especially your Ellie May. Very valuable. Oh my gosh, we're going to fly.
Cookie B, we are trying our best to hold on.
Can everybody please comment on Brent's driving?
Someone did say that Kaya was a lot better last time. He's going to now purposefully hit all the buttons.
Oh, we've got the chopper.
Amazing.
Everyone, look at that view.
I'm back on you guys.
Gabriella wants to know how fast are we driving,
The
Brent?
speedometer on this vehicle doesn't work, Gabby. So from the
40, 50.
feeling of the wind, about 125.
Hold on.
In actual reality, probably about 40 kilometers an hour.
Ferrari Safari, yes. Safari drive, no, Ferrari driver, nice.
Barbara likes your drive.
There's a lot of dust, so keep Got a lot of comments about people feeling quite sorry for the... Got quite a lot of people mentioning how scared the elephant is and that they know that it's for their own good, but they feel sorry for the elephant. So what Jan is busy doing there now is trying to get this elephant into the safest place possible to go down. So although from here, of course, a helicopter is a massive thing, but an elephant is good.
Quite hard to see if Dark's gone in yet. Okay, Ellie's still there. Is it showing
on a road, which is great.
Is it dark on end? We don't think so. No dart in.
The dart is not in yet. So here you can see Joel's just darting now.
Just maybe trying to get a good shot in the open. Very, very thick down there. So it looks like Jana's been maneuvering a little bit to try and get the elephant into more of an open space. They're going to be as conscious as possible to try and keep it from running or from getting too stressed, because obviously they need it to stay as cool as possible and obviously as less stress as possible.
So rather have the elephant looking a little bit scared from the air than get put down in an area that is incredibly unsafe.
For the helicopter to be able to maneuver more effectively. So we'll just be watching from this little hill that we're on as they maneuver down inside that ditch there.
But we are so grateful that you got to see a lot of that action from the helicopter.
Especially today.
Too fast.
Rick, the dart is not in yet. So they're just trying to maneuver the elephant into the right area because it is incredibly thick and very, very rocky at the moment. So as soon as that elephant's in a safe environment, safe place to go down, they'll put that dart in, and then we'll try and get in there as quickly as possible. You also can't dart in an area where there's no access. If anything did go wrong, we need to be there as quickly as possible.
Move around to the back, or you want us to stay here?
You can stay wherever you want. No, you can
so
move
that
around
we
the
can
car.
watch. Let's go on this side. Oh, do you need to stay plugged in here? Just so we can watch. Oh my gosh, there's even power lines there.
It's amazing from this view how close those elephants are actually to the mine.
I don't know if you can see the helicopter up there in the distance. I think they're just trying to assess the situation. From what Jana said, everything's going to be pre-planned, so they'll have a plan in their head about where they want that Ellie to go down. If you kind of have a scan of this area, though, copies and power lines all in an extremely challenging area to dart of everywhere those elephants could have been. The elephant's safety is the #1 priority here. If they deem that it's
the car in between is killing the signal.
moving up, it might be that the elephant is walking in the direction that they want and they just want to take a bit of pressure off. Maybe that's a good sign. put that pressure on the elephants as gently as possible to reduce stress.
A lot of people have been talking about how stressed that elephant looks. I think what's important for everyone to remember is that the human-animal conflict between elephants and the mine at the moment, if we do not collar these animals, there's a good chance that the easiest option is to destroy the animal entirely. It's the cheapest option as well. And an animal like an elephant shaking his head and raising his head up to a helicopter is just natural defense. It's not scared, it's just not exactly enjoying the hum of the helicopter, I think.
I don't think they like the helicopter.
I don't think they like the helicopter too much, but...
I can see Joel hanging out there. They might be going in now.
Yeah, Joel is hanging out there. Looks like they're getting closer to the road.
Okay.
Because of the angle, the dart went coming straight down, so it wasn't effective. So they're just mixing a second dart.
Okay. Okay. I don't know if you all heard that. Tandy just gave us an update. They did shoot a dart, but it went straight down and it wasn't effective. So they mixed another dart and they're going to put another dart in.
I think the angle the dart went in wasn't good.
It's honestly one of the most difficult things. I mean, imagine trying to, I don't know if anybody has done any shooting or darting that's watching, but trying to shoot straight at a target is one thing, but doing it from the air, trying to work out the angles, and then the helicopters bouncing around and the animals moving, I mean, it's a massive challenge. I wonder if we don't try stand on the right hand side there. Let's see if we can get a better view.
This is good sign. Looks like they could be getting closer to a road.
Cookie, it's like watching your children trying to get out of getting their vaccines.
Difficult but absolutely necessary.
Cheryl's asking how do they know which elephant to dart. I think the collared elephant is probably with them, and then they've been told, say again? Any associated, so Joel's been asked any associated bull with the collared elephant is the one that they want to collar.
What a spot that these elephants decided to go to.
That is an extremely difficult place to maneuver between those two sets of power lines.
And these corpies.
Yeah, Connie, those power lines.
We're also concerned about the power lines. It looks like. Just see Joel's leg hanging out the helicopter door.
Cookie, he's definitely wearing a seatbelt. Yeah, I don't think he'd be staying in the helicopter otherwise. Some of the wildlife vets choose to use a sling so that they can hang further out of the helicopter. I don't believe that Joel uses a sling. I think he uses the seatbelt. It's kind of chosen vet by vet, kind of the technique that they use. Darts in, everyone. Just been updated.
Fantastic.
So you can see the helicopter's pulled up. They're just wanting to be taking as much pressure off of that helicopter elephant as possible.
Connie O'Neill says Jana's skills as a pilot is amazing. We couldn't agree more. I mean, this is one of the hardest terrains to navigate around, so she is doing an incredible job here. Traveling with Marsha says, I'm not sure I can watch this. It is very intense. Carol CG, my heart is in my mouth watching this.
Can you imagine how we're all feeling here as well? My hands are on my head. Okay, so what they're going to be looking for now is the elephant showing effects of the drug. It's the tail coming up, ears out. Yeah. It varies from animal to animal how long the drugs take to have any kind of effect. It can be a couple minutes, can be 10 minutes.
They're going back down again, so maybe that elephant is moving into slightly thicker bush.
Now is, where is that elephant going to go down?
Yeah. And will it be accessible?
I don't think they would have darted if it's not, but we might be traipsing through the bush, so hold on to your hats, everybody. We might need to start running soon, because if that Ellie goes down, it's going to be everybody leaping in and setting off full
So I think we maybe head back to the car, get ready for takeoff.
I think so. We're going to come and stand by up here.
Yeah, we ready this bag.
Here you go.
This was just before 6.
Okay, they're still working there. I don't know if you can hear it, but Jana's been using the siren a little bit on the helicopter. She's got a siren on there which, just in addition to the wind and the noise and the buzz of the helicopter, can help encourage the elephant to move in a certain direction. So she's been making use of that tool as well. She'll know exactly when to use it, when not to use it, how high to fly versus the amount of pressure she needs to put on that elephant.
Yeah, I mean, we are working with one of the most experienced teams when it comes to collaring elephants. So that's comforting to know.
It's quite a critical time now. They're still hovering, although the dart's in. Sounds like a police siren. Although the dart's in, it can take a little bit of time, obviously, to work, but you can only really wait. So if it doesn't work, then you still have to wait 10 minutes to see if it's going to work and then dart again if it doesn't. So let's all keep our fingers crossed.
Barbara says controlled, organized chaos.
That's exactly it, Barbara.
Pandemonium.
Pandemonium.
I don't know, I wouldn't go that far.
I just like the sound of saying it.
Connie thanks you for the explanation of the siren. Still going off there.
Otherwise you'd think there's some kind of police raid going on down there.
Yeah.
Has there been any other updates from the helicopter?
We're on the move.
Oh, yes, we're on the move.
Okay, hold on, everyone.
This is good news. Okay.
I hope we can get in there.
Going to be interesting to see how quickly things move now, because obviously they've been trying to maneuver this elephant into the right habitat for its own safety. So it has already used quite a lot of energy in this heat. It's still quite hot. So let's see what happens. Things could move a lot quicker here.
I think this operation as a whole is going to go pretty quick, just given the temperature of the day here.
Cookie Bee is asking, wouldn't the siren cause more adrenaline, making it take longer to go down? I don't think so. I think the amount of adrenaline that would be needed for an elephant to act against those drugs would be huge. I think, as Michelle said, it just encourages that elephant to move away a little bit quicker.
I think it's also still more important at the end of the day to get that elephant into a place that is accessible, because if it goes down and it goes down on its sternum, as Joel was explaining, and we can't get to it, it's at this stage, once it's been drugged, the most critical part is, I think they want to overtake here.
No, we need to be behind the second vehicle.
Oh, okay.
No, it's great. If they want to go over there.
They've got all their... Okay, we're going off-road here. But yeah, I was just saying the most important thing is to get that elephant into a place that the vet can get to it on the ground.
Absolutely.
So that's what we're doing.
And now you can get a little bit more of a realistic idea of the terrain. You can see massive boulders on our left-hand side. It's much, much thicker. So to navigate the elephant, or to try and get the elephant to move in a particular direction in here is not easy. Impressive flying, Yana.
Keep an eye open for the other elephants in the area as well.
Yeah, it sounds like there are about 3 or 4 of them sticking together. So that also could be why Yana is flying around, making sure the other elephants are at bay.
It's going to be extremely difficult, maybe up on the road. Joel's going to have to run. Good thing Joel's good at running.
Yeah.
He's very fast. Brent, Cookie says the badger's in its element.
Total element.
I think we're all in our absolute total element. Okay, there's people on the ground up ahead here. Just in front here on the left hand side. We're just going to get old badger in a little bit closer.
Matt.
Moving on. Watch the door.
Got it. This is extremely thick, everyone.
Cool.
Oh my gosh.
Let's go, guys.
Okay.
Okay, we're off.
Dad. Okay.
So we got the chainsaw coming out. Maybe this
Okay, we'll just get Ronnie in with the chainsaw.
has spot.
What do you need?
So you can see that this elephant has landed in quite a difficult position. So they might use the chainsaw now just to get the trees away, so it's a little bit of an easier area to work with.
Yeah, it's gone down on a tree. Can you hear it breathing, everyone? Look how it's making all the grasses vibrate when it's breathing.
Yeah, you can see they're pouring water onto the ears, just trying to cool that elephant down.
Let's try and get onto that other corner.
We're going to try and
We're going to go around the other side. Maybe come back the way that we've gone.
Let's wait for the chainsaw.
Okay.
So we're going to move position. We just want to wait for this chainsaw.
Yep.
Please help with the chainsaw.
Are we looking at
We
what
just
video?
Oh, Barbara, it's one of the favorite sounds that I can hear.
All right. Joel said we don't need to worry about the cutting of the tree because there's no pressure on the elephant's trunk. So it seems like it's just a thick spot, but the elephant is in good health.
Did we take a collar off?
Yeah.
It's called Fortunately, yeah. Yo.
You want to get some run down the back now so we can look at the ear at least.
Just try to pull us here anyway. Elephants, I think you've seen worse than that. There we go. Okay, I just need someone on the breathing. Who's going to watch the breathing for us, guys? Got a stick in there.
Might be better going around the other way.
Just get that big log.
So we want like probably
Mesh, let's go to the side.
Okay. Or we're just going to make some space for you here.
so you know how to take it. So they can't flat out.
There we go. That's sharp. There we go.
Okay, here we go, everyone. There's a bit more of a gap here. Okay, so.
All right.
Okay, so Joel, the vet, is on the ground again with us now. He's just making sure that all the vitals are being taken and making sure that the area is safe.
Making sure that that trunk has no blockages. Making sure that that ear gets some water so it cools the elephant down because it is an incredibly hot day. We've got somebody monitoring the breathing. You see the collar over there just going behind the ear.
Okay, let's get a bit closer up here. It is a big bull.
That's a big Ellie.
You can have a close look at the skin here.
Mish, do you want to cut there so you can get through?
Oh, okay.
100%.
So you can see the priority is getting this collar on. That's why this elephant's been darted. So Michelle is in there trying to get the collar on around the neck. Like we talked about, the GPS box is sitting at the top. First and foremost, before anything happens, is that collar's got to get on.
Are we doing that then now?
It's fallen against the thorn tree, so it's extremely difficult to get the collar in on the other side. I think what they're going to have to do is probably chainsaw some branches off on the other side to be able to slip the collar in underneath. Maybe behind you we can have a look here at some of the data being collected. So Jess, you're taking some toenail samples.
Yeah, so we look at micro and macro nutrient levels. Just trying to get a little piece without cutting myself.
We've got a little piece of the toenail there.
And then it gets recorded, and then everything's recorded on a piece of paper there.
Watch out there.
Yeah, now we're going to get tail hair.
Okay,
So we're
let's
going to
do
get
a
tail hair. Matt, do you want to follow around?
Can you find the tail? Oh, there is the tail.
Yeah. So here we also DNA.
Do you want to climb?
Got three tail hairs.
3.
Oh, actually, can I get the leather one, please?
Got one. Oh, got one.
So we also look at DNA, short-term dietary changes.
Someone chuck me some water while I'm standing
Yep.
It looks pretty tough to pull out there.
Yeah, it is. That's why good old Leatherman.
There you go.
Okay.
You've got that there. Show me when you get a
Turn it
plaster
around.
on you.
I hope that's not your hand.
It is my hand.
Oh my gosh, can we help you there with that?
Can I just pop these straight in here?
I think, what can we do to help?
We can do measurements now.
I meant your hand. Wish check. Okay, we're just getting some water on here. Rick J. Cam sounds like air brakes on a large truck. Okay,
Cooling down
see all
the
the water
elephant.
going on here to try and cool off the Ellie. incredible how absorbent. The hair is. The skin is rather.
Absorbent.
Okay, let's see what the progress is here with the collar.
So they definitely trimmed a couple of those branches away.
Yeah.
Seems like there's a little bit more room for that collar to go on now. Elephant's almost entirely wet, trying to cool him down. And as you can see, a little bit tricky for you to, well, for us to get the camera into all the angles for the measurements, because this elephant is lying in between all the trees. CJ.
Yeah. Okay, what are we going to do here next?
Now we're taking morphometrics.
Okay, while they're just working on clearing some space there for the collar, we're going to continue with the morphometrics, which is the measurements. What are we going to take first?
So first we'll do...
Do you want me to help lift?
Yeah, let's...
Help lift.
So, let's first do the top one. Or do you want me to measure for you and then you can write? And you don't have to measure for you? Okay, so that is back left. Gonna measure the circumference.
I don't know how we're going to get... maybe I can feed it under. We just need to...
Just bring it around the side.
Oh, which way? You're going that way, okay. There you go, well then.
So you're going to have to feed it here at the underneath.
I'll hold it at the top.
Okay, we need more here at the bottom. Needs more.
Very heavy foot.
Elephant foot is extremely heavy, everybody.
I don't think it's on the bottom properly.
Yeah, it's good. It's there. It's there. Okay. Good. So let's just get it all on the edge. Okay, what do we got there?
That can't be right.
No. Pull. Let me lift for you.
Okay. No, that's it. It's fast.
You're pulling it off. Okay, you got it. I'm going to look for you again.
Yep, no, we're good, we're good.
Okay, a bit more on the end. Okay, what is that?
135.
135, okay.
Is that normal?
Yeah. And now let's do length.
Okay.
Then, middle, on the end. Yeah.
152.
52. 152.
No, just 52.
52, okay. And then
Is that
width.
normal?
Oh, at the bottom.
Have you got a high lift, Jack?
Wait, we're not measuring the same way around.
Is it?
Because that says 34. We just take that length one again.
So this is inches. So
Yeah, we're doing
inches
inches
the
or
inside.
centimeters.
Centimeters
Yeah,
on the inside there.
yeah, 35.
35. Yeah. Okay. Now let's do the back front. Back front.
Okay, I'm gonna lift the leg.
Okay.
Feel the little hairs all over its body.
I need to go this side more. Okay.
You can feel
I've lost the...
like under these spots how soft compared to the skin. Very, very warm, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Hold down on the bottom there.
Okay, that's fine. We'll read it from that side.
136.
136, perfect.
Okay.
Okay, we'll lift. Okay, length.
56.
56. What?
33.
3. Okay. Let's do the front.
Front feet.
Yeah.
Okay. We want to get it up. Okay. Oh, sorry.
So lift this leg.
No, it's not. Okay. 145.
No, I can't. That was my one spot.
About 49. $39. Front foot is in the platine here. It's at least off the ground a bit.
It's all on you, Ends.
Oh gosh! Glad I didn't do BBG today.
Getting the gym in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Relax, relax. Okay, 1, 2, 3, go.
Okay, 147.
Wait. Okay.
Now we need to do it.
Okay, we might need to move again.
Yeah, we need to pass out. Go ahead. Go and go.
50.
50, okay.
Oh, look at the ticks. Was that a cider?
43.
Should we go have a look at?
Okay, now let's do shoulder.
Can we leave you guys with this? Let's go and have a look at
There you go, that.
some other bits and pieces. Hey everyone, let's go and have a look round at the trunk here. I don't know if you can see in the front here. It's just a stick in the trunk to
trying
keep
to
the
keep-
trunk open.
Yeah, trying to keep the airways open. Amazing sound. How are you monitoring the breathing now? What did Joel tell you to do? Hey, why is your clock not stopping? What did he say? Don't want to be on the camera. Okay. And then if you go and have a look at these tusks, you can see so much detail in the tusks. Check how worn down this one is at the bottom here. Look how thick this tusk
Connie,
is.
it takes a village to
compared
lift that leg.
a
You're not
hand.
kidding. It was so heavy.
There's no way
Yeah,
you can
I
get
can
your
do the
hand
trunk.
around this tusk. Very, very, very well worn.
Okay, over the top of this. Watch out. Is that better? Okay, so that's straight. With the elephant trunk straight, it can breathe a lot better than bent. And on the branch, watch this here. You can continue monitoring your breathing now. Sorry.
Very hot afternoon. So you see there's some more measurements over there happening with the shoulder.
Just an update on the collar. So because of where the Ellie's gone down, it's extremely difficult to get the actual collar on the bit that it's lying on. So we're trying to somehow find a way to raise the Ellie up. Obviously it's extremely heavy. We can't just lift, but we just need a slither of a gap. They've got tools to push it underneath, but we just can't get it underneath at the moment.
Yeah, I'm just hoping if it's stuck on the branches, maybe we can just get the branches out of it.
And you saw how difficult it was to lift up that trunk
One
and
leg.
that leg. Let's not start with the head. A lot of people saying lots of teamwork happening out here. Absolutely can't do it without the teamwork.
But now we've got a gap underneath the branch.
Carol and Barbara took out a tape measure to check out the actual sizing of the leg. They're very impressed, very big leg.
Good call.
So now we're trying to lift up the branch. trying to lift up that branch so we can get that collar underneath. Yeah, maybe worth turning
Let's
around.
move outside. So they've got this long hook tool there that can get the...
Sorry?
Make your teeth out.
Sorry, just making space.
High lift jack is an animal.
That was a good stat from Brent there. More people get hit by high lift jacks than animals, which is exactly true. They're just not able to push that tool through to be able to get the collar. Oh, did we miss the fecal sample there?
Ah,
Yeah.
No, you missed your rectum temperature.
oh damn.
I can try again.
I don't think we'll even manage it. We can definitely try.
How do we find that?
I'm good, yeah.
Okay.
Let's see if we can shift his head even. But I doubt it very much. Let's see.
So I can try and go a few more.
Leo, what are you measuring there?
I'm trying to lift that out to just... maybe I can
Guys, I
get...
think, yeah, let's try doing
just
some
help.
leg. Let's get
I'm
that
just
one
gonna
and
go
see if
stand
it
up.
doesn't
I'll
work,
go
then we
stand
can
up.
go to the next
Joel
one.
here.
Dirk, you're gonna get in? Okay, Brenty, I think can you release the jack?
Yeah, I'm gonna...
Okay, let's just see, Jess, let's just try and lift it up. I don't think we're gonna manage
Goodness
but,
gracious
yeah.
me. Come on, Amy, you got this.
1, 2, are you ready?
No. We're gonna wait for Brent. Just let's see if we can lift it first. They don't need to do anything.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Watch out.
That did
Yeah, so
move,
what's the
yeah.
trunk? So try and lift the trunk over that.
Mary, we missed the greatest action. Yeah, we did. Sure, Leo will be quite happy with that.
It's on top of it now. We're not going to get it past there.
Yeah.
Is the eye here okay?
Oh, there's nothing we can do about it, Bram. There's no point in worrying about the eye for sure. We'll have this collar on. Okay, guys, let's try and lift. Can someone, if we lift the trunk, the tusk, I need something someone can wedge under that bottom tusk there. Under, yeah. Just to try and keep it up a little bit.
This one?
Lifting a bit, yeah. It's tilting a bit to do that.
So I want to try and lift it up and then get something underneath here.
This is a massive
then it's
tree.
going to stay.
Yeah, I know. It's my... These things...
Brenty, watch your leg there for me. You've had enough leg injuries.
I have...
Time's to the right.
So it's not that thick, but if we can get it up just a little bit. Safe.
Maybe we can get the jack under the tusk in as well.
You're going to try and jimmy that under there if we can lift this thing up a bit. Okay, ready?
I think he said it's safe, but just check.
We're going to go straight up, eh?
Have that off, yeah.
Okay. Okay. The next thing is we're going to try and let's just watch if we need to lift him up here. Yeah, that's fine. How's the breathing
The
there?
pressure is actually off the train.
Okay.
I don't know if you can all see what's going on here, but
We'll be able to lift
what
it up and
the
over
team
here.
are trying to do is create a
we'll
space
manage.
underneath the
How high do we have to
head
lift it
of
to
the
get it
elephant
over
to be
this
able to
You're on top of it now.
slide
Joey.
We
the
should be able to,
You're
I
on top
reckon.
of it now.
the collar under.
That one is very high.
Yeah.
It's stuck. Do you want to try that, Jess? Is there any hope there? Oh, we lifted it a bit.
It is a bit.
Oh, you have lifted.
Just check first.
Just trying to see if we've created a gap now. He thought about us trying to lift the head of the leg. You can imagine how much more difficult it is trying to lift the whole head.
Jonas Chopper, it's quite a walk.
What must I get?
Do you mind getting it for me?
No, no,
In my drug box, if you pop it open, the top row is all little red drugged ones.
Okay.
Just pick them up. I think the middle and the right hand one have the most in. Just check which
What do you need?
Yeah, I think
We're gonna
let's
have to
do
chop them
that.
up at some point. It's just it's the captive on, Jana. No luck there.
Let's go around this way for putting some water on the ear just to help cool it down.
then otherwise I think we can maybe try, I can try wedge the jack as far in here as possible. It's going to be dangerous.
Pressure. Can you get that?
And you can't see the bottom of the ear from there, to make sure it's between the ear and the ear.
Okay, we're going to try. Let's try one straight left.
But I wonder if we shouldn't try from Ron's side with the lift.
Give it to Amy.
This side we're getting it, but it's going underneath the ear then.
Oh, and that massive.
On the ear.
Yeah, so we need to try just go straight up, guys, and nowhere else. Straight up as high as we can possibly go. Ready? One,
Are you ready?
1, 2, 3. Hold it here. Hold it here.
Come on, Brenty.
So I'm going to earn my...
Does it feel like it's moving though there, Ron's, when we lift it? Just watch what it does when we come down.
Okay.
Okay, is there any movement down the neck whatsoever?
There is, yeah, definitely.
Is it?
So you can see a little bit in, but I'm not seeing like the ear.
Okay, next thing. We're going to have to try to, let's lift him back this way. And I want to try and cut these branches away from here. Okay. So just come a little bit towards myself and Brent, okay? 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Oh, so we can move past those.
Okay, we might have to try and go a bit more, guys, so I can cut there. 1, 2. Okay, hold it there if you can.
I got it.
What do you need? Okay.
Okay, I think just watch out there, guys.
Do you want us to push? Pull.
Oh, yeah.
Just watch your legs here as it bounces back.
You need the front of it.
Okay, 1 sec. That's fine.
Yeah.
You're going to have to pull a bit more. Okay, pull there.
Good job.
Okay. Well done, Jody. Okay guys, now we're going to try and lift the head that way. Up and over. What I even suggest is let's try and see if we can land the tusk on here first, and then we can try to go further if we need to. So let's try to put that tusk on top of that branch there.
Can we add some manpower in here?
Yeah, Charles. I think we're okay.
Get in there, Mish.
Good job.
A little bit more. We're so close. One,
straight up,
two,
guys, straight up.
Nice, guys.
Right, on the back.
Good job.
Well done, guys.
Not yet.
Now we should go through.
Is there a gap under? What, the collar or the trunk? We're getting our money's worth out of you, Brent.
Been done, Mish. You guys taking bloods, you've done everything else.
Yeah.
do you want me to try maybe put the jack in on those sticks and then...
I think it's worth a try.
If you're not getting it through now...
How far are you getting?
I went all the way up to there.
This one we can't move, hey? This branch.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean,
Is it under?
This one's not
Okay.
really, it's just a thin little.
Should be close.
Let me...
Where do you want to try and get?
You can't see the bottom part of it now, of the ear.
No.
I think it might have folded.
But what, so you think it's folded at the back here?
Yeah.
Did you run?
And then once you push the stick, it just gets stuck there.
What's your foot there, Brent?
Yeah.
Someone's still on the breathing there?
Do you want me to drop captive on for you?
No, not yet. Okay. I should have a bit of
What do you
time
need, Jess?
there. Do you guys have another pole? Because this thing's going to keep bending.
Okay, I'm coming.
I just want to see if I can get it to the back.
Yeah, can you go and help
but this
her?
is under now. Yeah, we've got to try and figure where that is.
Back here.
It should be sticking out the
It's
side.
on? Yeah, it's under. I see it here.
And pull it
It's like
under
we're
all
having a
that
bit of a
crap.
breakthrough,
can
trying
you pull it
to, might have a gap there.
Because we've got to try and get a rope. Can I get a rope on there or something, Ron? Because if we can pull it there, then we need to try and get it on top of the ear.
Maybe that chainsaw and just cuts
How
it.
far is it?
So it's somewhere here.
I think we just need maybe to get...
But Ron, if we get it through, will we get it around the ear?
I don't think so.
Not.
All these muscles on the other side might have blocked the way.
It sounds like the ear's folded, and then with the muscles, the way that all the branches are underneath the bull.
Yeah.
Really difficult. There was some water here. Oh, I've got water.
Okay. Can you just double check this one?
I've just moved it now. It's breathing now.
Yeah. But we have to go lower. Can you take a zoom in on the veins on the ear there?
It's going, Joe. It must be close.
The branch through here.
Let me get this out of the way.
Are we going to attach it there, Ron? Yeah, attach it. We'll play it 3
what a
times,
result.
eh? All right. Because we're going to struggle to put it through now past
Okay, so the fact that this stick is through, they can now attach the other end to the collar, which means that there's a gap to be able to pull the underside of the collar all the way through. They can attach the weight, they can bolt up the collar, and
Hopefully we can get everything up and going.
While we've got this gap, can you see the roof of the mouth there?
And have a look at how thick these veins are over here.
Yeah, guys, while they're busy there, I'll quickly show you. So arteries and veins, like we got it over here. Eh? Yeah. So you can see here, this is an artery over here. You can't well, I say you can see because I can feel it. But the arteries are much thicker walled, and you can actually feel the pulse rate over here. And then the veins, they will sort of collapse. You can see this is a vein over here. That just collapses over there. This one, if you try to collapse it, you can actually feel, you can see how it bounces around there.
Yeah.
So typically we'll put an intravenous catheter in the vein. You can see the little guy over here. Tundi's put it in, and that's just if we have an emergency, we've got intravenous access and we can wake it up immediately. So I'm sweating.
It's what?
So this guy gave us a lot of trouble. You just, you wouldn't turn away. You need him to run away from you so that you can put a dart in the backside and a good muscle. And he just stood facing us and he kept charging the helicopter. So eventually we let him charge, and then we just took a pot shot and we got lucky. So
Well done.
then we got unlucky with this. Jana did an amazing job trying to get us a shot.
Yeah, that was very impressive. Everyone commented on the live feed.
Everyone hold thumbs, we can get this collar
But
through.
the funniest thing is I told them that that's the easy part, getting the knife. Yes. It's completely the opposite.
Yeah.
I think what we might need, do we have a rope here? I think we might need help pulling. Actually, it might just snap it. Actually, don't worry.
I don't know if you can see, but they're just
No, you're
trying
on the
to
breathing
attach
nicely there.
the collar
Need any
to
more
the
water?
stick with cable ties
Fine,
to
it's
be
nice and
able
deep
to
and it's
pull it
still
all the
looking
way
pretty
through.
good, yeah? Should be okay. Guys, you can look here.
Oh,
Ignore
sorry.
the
Just,
alarm. If you can see the number there, so the bottom one's the heart rate. Okay, elephant's going to have a typically low heart rate. That's why this thing's alarming at us. It's not an elephant pulse oximeter, so it's not used to these low heart rates. And this top number is an estimate of the oxygen concentration in the blood. And I say estimate because we're not getting a true picture, but this just helps us look at a trend. If we see this going down and down and down, then we're always going to be a little bit concerned. But anyway, from where we're sitting at the moment is pretty good or pretty typical for an elephant as well. So Leah's monitoring that one nicely for us. Shut up.
so many different things that have been monitored all at the same time. Somebody's on the breathing there. You can see her hand next to the end of the trunk there, making sure that she's counting the breaths so that as soon as that slows down, we're on it. And then we've also got the machine as a backup. So there's two, just in case one or the other doesn't work. Okay, now's the time for truth. They're going to pull it through.
Yeah, and then as it comes through, guys, I'm going to
Nice
need
and
some
slow.
help.
You go low.
Can this move? Hang ten, guys. Can this thing move?
You want me to cut it?
Oh, no, then it's fine. Just don't cut yourself on this.
It's attached underneath there.
Is that fine? Watch out there, Brent. Okay, together. We're doing this very shortly. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Leg day.
Okay, so Brenty, and it's going to come past me. Just watch. There might be give, and then you might fall. This thing is going to drive me insane. Okay, ready? Slowly. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Watch out, Joe.
Okay. I think, guys, just can someone give me the rope from the back of Dirk's back here?
Watch out.
And yeah, there's one. There's a microfiber cloth. Okay, Brenty, try ya. Are you ready, Ron? Yeah. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, a little bit. 1, 2, 3. Okay, a little bit. 1, 2, 3.
Now with the ground.
1, 2. 1, 2. Okay, together. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
There we go.
1, 2, 3. Okay, when it stops moving. What, like that? No, we can't. I think. Okay, attach the rope here.
This one?
Brenty, you can pull. Yeah, we'll just get guys to help pulling on the rope here.
Actually, and Joel, don't you want people lifting the head again?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
We can do. We're losing all our manpower now.
Hey, us chicks are strong.
Sorry, manpower's a misnomer. People power.
Joel, how long can the Ellie be kept under for before it's a health risk?
The most we've kept is for 5.5 hours. Yeah. But that was by necessity for transport. So collaring, typically we don't want to go longer than an hour and a half.
Okay.
But we're going to try and get this collar on. That's why we darted it. So we might top him up if we need to.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, guys, we've got to go. We've got to go like here. Can we go lower?
Yeah.
If we can get underneath this. Okay, and we just, guys, don't pull hard. We're just going to, with everyone together, we can pull slowly. Okay, so I'll count 1, 2, 3, and then we pull slowly on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, a little bit harder. 1, 2, 3.
It's coming.
Nice.
Wait, you guys good?
Yeah, it's coming.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Coming.
1, 2, 3.
Yes! Good job!
We're through. Okay. Well done, everyone.
Yeah, let me get out of the way.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, quick one on the camera. Before they put the collar, can you see these 2 little holes in that camera anyway? If you guys can, there's 2 little holes here where my fingers are. We call that the Jacobson's organ, or the vomeronasal organ. So typically elephants have a really incredible nerve bundle over here, and they process a lot of information. So typically anything that relates to familial structure or herd dynamics in a greater area, anything like that, you'll often see elephants oh my goodness. Bring it! You'll often see elephants sort of sampling the air and then blowing into this organ over here. And this organ processes a lot of information, what other elephants are eating in the area, what their herd members are doing, who's in season, a whole lot of things. So in terms of elephant population dynamics and their dynamics and interrelationships, this little organ over here is incredibly important. So you'll just see it here, it has 2 little holes at the top here.
Can I cut these off?
I think so. Can we cut these cable ties off, guys?
No, we've got to get that out.
Oh, what's up?
This is the pin here.
It's all happening here, folks.
Before.
No such thing as a simple collaring.
Oh, is it the little plate? Yeah. Okay, hang on.
Yeah, that's much better idea.
That is not gonna work.
Okay. Is there another one in there?
Yeah.
Oh no.
But we got a space, so let's just put that one out later.
Oh my gosh.
We'll feel that feature. We got a battery.
Got it some off.
I think what we might do, Brian, is your live feed working in the chopper now?
Yeah, it can.
Is it? Yeah. I think 5 minutes before wake up, maybe you and Joanna can film the wake up from the air, because unfortunately it's so thick here we won't be able to do it from the ground.
Yeah, good idea.
Then the guys can just get a good look at it.
We're just cutting
So
off
I think
of
as
these
soon as we've
cables.
tightened up the collar, then you guys can probably go and start up at that point. We'll get everyone out slowly here.
Length, nice.
Okay,
Are you already tightening that?
there you go. You're in.
Okay, we're just loosening
It must still be pulled a bit.
We're going to start. Oh, must it be pulled?
Yeah, it's not in the middle.
It's about to gap like this, Joe.
Craig, how's it?
But I think
What
you
must
can
be
go
pulled?
with the numbers. Yes.
That's
That
true.
side, the underside a little bit. Get it straightened out.
You're happy to go with the numbers, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, they've done a really nice thing where they've, I don't know if have you seen how it's numbered? So on the, if you lean over and look here, you can see how it's numbered. So you can actually just get the numbers to type. So then if he stands up, then it'll realign.
You got there?
But there's still a large gap on top.
Need the hand?
Yeah, but we're quite lucky here at the moment. So we can probably take a forearm.
You got a circumference there.
IMJ, yeah, the team's working as quickly as possible. We haven't reached a point yet where it's unsafe. Monitoring, the breathing's been monitored, the Ellie's still doing okay, water's getting poured on it to stay cool. So Joel's monitoring very carefully. He did say that it can be down for 40 minutes to 45 minutes.
basically, and then you have to top up again, which isn't bad for the animal if you do.
Yeah, so we haven't
IMJ,
topped up
is
yet,
it not
but
yet
if
time
we
for the
had to,
elephant to
we
wake up? How long can it safely stay sedated for?
Yeah, so pretty much same as we mentioned just now. So
An hour,
sitting
hour and a
on
half.
46 minutes at the moment. I'd say in the next 15 we're going to have him up. This is the last section now.
So we're at the last end of this.
What do you need? It's done.
It's done. We did fecal.
I thought Leah
Someone did
was
fecal, eh?
taking things.
Someone took fecal, eh?
No, we didn't.
No one's taking
Oh,
fecal.
not fecal, just temperature.
Jess, did you want it?
Jess, there's a rectal, eh?
I've got a glove here. Do you want a fecal?
You stick Chris or Craig.
Okay,
Go and get it there.
we'll definitely need to film this.
Let's come on, everybody.
Yeah,
Let's
this
go
is the
wild.
interesting stuff.
Okay, this is the best bit. Yeah, Mary for wild, as you said, as Joel said, up to 5 hours keeping down. So we're not in a point where it's dangerous yet.
And we have got more sedative in case we needed to top him up, just to make sure that that collar gets put on properly. All right, here comes Jess for the fecal sample. Everybody get your screenshots ready. Oh, Chris is getting involved.
Yeah. There you go.
You got to be strong though, it's not easy.
Sometimes you have to use your knee against your elbow.
Okay.
Yeah. There we go.
Is it hot in
Sometimes
there?
you can't get it done, Bull, but you know, we believe in you.
We believe in you.
Woo! Well, look,
Oh,
with,
well done.
with some marula fruit.
Put it on the ground. Okay, and then take a small. Ignore the. What's that really sauce? Ignore the marula. Okay. Perfect. Okay, and then roll it into a sausage.
Yeah, I'm coming.
Good job.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with this now?
So we use this to analyze stress levels.
Okay.
So there's Carrie Moorfield. She's a researcher from the US. And she works with zoo elephants, and she uses the stress levels of wild elephants to compare it to those in zoos to ensure that they're comparable.
Wow.
Oh, it smells. That's a smelly one.
Yeah.
Mary for Wild is very, very happy. She says she thought she missed the green sleeve action. You can hear the collaring getting tightened on there.
Yep.
I'll take it with my phone.
I was like, I see floods. So you don't need tissue. You don't need tissue.
So cool.
No, it's right out of
How was that?
Right.
Hot?
It was hot.
There's definitely not a lot of people in the world that can say they've done that one.
Actually, I'm supposed to.
Okay, so the bolts are going on the collar. Let's have a look at that.
Sorry guys. Oh my goodness. Trying to get out the way and you can't.
You can see that it's actually bolted on. It's a pretty sturdy collar. You can see the weight,
The counterweight, yeah.
counterweights at the bottom. That keeps the GPS on the top. And then that those excess bits of collar and excess bolts sometimes, depending on how much is sticking out, will actually be cut off. So as little as possible is the way to go. Jess, while they're just bolting on, we've had a quick question. Where is it?
With all the samples collected, what do you hope to learn and determine conservation-wise?
So it's just, honestly, it's like collaborative studies that we do with researchers. In terms of the food they eat, it's interesting to see how it changes seasonally, how it changes in different habitats, what males and females prefer.
Interesting to see his phosphate
Exactly,
levels compared
especially
to other
in this
Ellies.
area. That's why we know why they come to this area is because of their phosphorus intake.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just the more you know, the better.
Yeah, fecal samples, same thing. I remember
for
when we did
stress.
the cow, we did the breast milk.
And that's for orphan elephants because we want to, you know,
Make sure that they've got the right composition.
It's dependent on the food they eat, and you know, the more samples you have, the better.
And it's crazy actually how few wild samples of milk that you
don't actually
have access to getting.
Exactly.
So that's, I suppose, it's a great opportunity while you're down in collaring.
Sure. Yeah.
But all in all, quite an interesting collaring. A lot of trees in the way, very thick area, lots of chainsaw action, lots of teamwork.
It is. Yeah.
Lots of sweat. Lots of blood.
Do we need any more water on the elephant, Joel?
No, we'll be fine.
We're fine. Is he all doing? Everyone's asking, is he fine? His vitals are all good.
Everything's good.
What are you looking for, Ron?
Just made our job a lot harder.
This one. Oh, this one. There you go. Got it. Yeah.
So you can see that the area that we're in is very, very thick. So what we've done is we're going to actually put one of the cameramen in the helicopter so that when we wake this elephant up, we can get a bird's eye view of what actually happened so that you can see that process. Here we wouldn't be able to. You can tell us how it looks. Yeah. Tell us how he's feeling.
Are you doing anything important there? Can you do me a favor? Can you just look up the road there if there's a place for those vehicles to turn around? Because I can see it's going to take up some time.
Have you had a look at these amazing tusks? Oh, they're beautiful.
The detail on those tusks. Chips.
You can't see one or the other at the moment. If his head was... Sorry?
Don't tell me it's hot and then hand it to me. I was expecting to get burned.
Sometimes you get one tusk that's shorter than the other, and they could be left or right tusked. I think I saw that this bottom one was actually a little bit shorter than the other.
So I think we're almost done here with the collar.
So smooth though, wow.
So if everyone sort of just wants to make their way back towards the vehicle.
Start turning around.
We're going to start turning around, yeah.
Okay.
I'll cut this off here and then we're just going to do the wake up.
Okay everybody, don't know if you heard any of that. Joel's just said they're basically done here. We all need to move back. We'll just hang back right until the last, but everybody's going to make some space. Just cutting the bolts off there. Do you want that material for gloves? Connie, yeah, the stories these tusks could tell, you're exactly right, they are just beautiful.
Okay,
well done.
Guys, I think let's start turning around in that.
Okay. Is there anything to carry out here?
You can stay here with the wake up.
Have you taken the memory out?
Yeah, I've taken all of that out.
Okay, let's grab something, everyone.
No, we did. We want to save some for lot. No, you'll be fine, Mish. 100%.
His temperature's good. He's only 37.6.
Yeah.
It's come down to 30. It was 37.7. It's coming down.
Oh, what do you mean? Oh no, but I mean, he'll go to the river then or something. No, the water, it'll make it worse. It'll be better if he doesn't have.
Okay.
Okay, what can we grab?
Oh, sorry, yeah, we can cut that off. Where's that grinder, guys? Chris, I'll just need those glasses. But I think, guys, while we cut this off, let's get those vehicles turned around and let's get out of here. So we can wake up.
Turn your car around.
So I think, yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Okay.
Not to film you.
Ron, so you come hold here.
Okay.
Oh, but Jess is fine. You're not colouring the other one, right?
Okay. I think,
Okay, so I think we're going to start heading out. Yeah.
Oh. There was CJ getting pictures. We might have to do some screenshots. It's been kind of tough to get some photographs.
You look in here now, there's no way you can imagine that there's actually an elephant lying down there. Unbelievably thick spot.
This has been quite the operation.
But successful colouring. We're going to just turn all the vehicles around now so that we've got a route out. The chopper will then go back up. We're going to administer the antidote and you'll see everything happening from the chopper. There's Brent in the background doing his thing. Okay.
It's ready.
Very, very hot. How many elephants' heads have you moved?
Actually, a few.
Yeah.
Not yet. Oh, yeah, he is.
Brian can go now.
Yeah. Beam up.
Does he know where Jan is?
No, he's just walking.
Tell him up to the road and left on the main road.
Okay, cool. I'll go catch him maybe.
Okay, we just need Mish.
Yeah.
Mish!
Yep.
We just need you now.
Coming.
Okay.
Can I take anything
Let me
out?
quickly hop on here. Tires, don't move.
I've got a Leatherman in my pocket there.
Oh, jeez, no, we are.
Thank you, everyone. Saying such a good job. Well done, all. So amazing to be part of these experiences and to be part of this story. Without you, this would not be possible, and we would not be as sweaty. Here we've got Chris's green glove in here.
Okay. We gotta go on. Okay, hold it. Yeah. This is why everyone should have a badge.
Amazing how many people are involved in a colouring here.
But the weight of that elephant, even when you try and pick up its tusk.
No, it's unbelievable. Woo!
She can't be back because we're going to cut Brian to get down.
Okay, let's see if we can catch up with the chopper. Now the temperature is absolutely perfect. It's nice and cool. Maybe because we're sweating so much, I don't know.
What's the storm?
Yeah. Anybody got any questions about what they've just seen? Sorry, I feel like it
Where
was...
did Brian go? Hopefully he didn't go that way.
Yeah, that was not the easiest one to host in terms of navigating around that animal because it was so thick. And obviously our goal is to make sure that we don't get in the way of what the vets are doing, what the researchers are doing. They're doing critical work. So as much as we can capture, we try to. But if you didn't see all of it, you'll have to join us for the next one.
We haven't seen Brian yet.
No.
I think so, yeah, it's not Brian.
What, did he walk up?
Yeah. I don't see him though. I don't see Charles.
Is he not in there?
No, just check he's not in.
Oh, he's in the chopper.
Brian's in the chopper.
Where's
That's
Charles?
brilliant.
Also in the chopper, lucky bastard.
The sweat is worth it. I'm sure you'd agree. Absolutely.
So I'm gonna
Okay, heli's going up.
take a chance that we might be able to see something from the top of the
Okay,
ridge from
let's
here.
give it a go.
Just the other side of the hill.
That was the thickest area I think I've ever done a colouring.
Yeah, that was not the easiest.
Shame, all of these, are they bee eaters?
Yep.
Oh my gosh, all these bee eaters are gonna fly off of the...
Chopper's just about to go up.
Yeah. So he should be like just here.
Yeah.
Just beyond that marula. Maddie, maybe come stand up here.
Yo, Connie, Cookie, glad you'd be keen to join again.
Amazing. We'd love to have you again.
No, that's ridiculous.
Okay, chopper's getting ready to go up. Remember, the helicopter and the ground crew are all talking to each other, so Joel would be speaking to Jana, telling her when he's administering the antidote.
A nice ice cold beer is calling.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we've got the chopper feed here.
All right, let's see what this bull does.
when you look down, you can not even see where he went down. Oh, there he is. You can just see his tusks. He's just lifting his head.
Oh, brilliant. We got there just in time.
It's going to take a little while for him to come round. It'll just be a little bit of movement first.
There he's lifting his head, lifting his trunk.
Uh-oh. Ja. Kijk, ze swappen.
Just trying to see if we can see anything from up here.
We're just waiting for the helicopter feed to come back. There we go.
Is he up? I think I just saw his back there.
Wave, guys.
He's standing. We're just gonna, I think they're gonna try and have another look there to see if they can see him walking off.
But you can all see how quickly that elephant wakes up.
There he
goes. Look at him going.
That's the best thing to see him
Amazing. You can see the different sizes now on his tusks.
Still angry with the helicopter.
Yeah,
Still doesn't like that helicopter.
Look how small his tusks look from the air though versus how big they were on the ground. Okay, they're going to leave him alone now. They just wanted to check that he's moving.
Everything's okay.
So now the helicopter's coming back.
Unbelievable. Well done, team.
Okay. Can we just do a last brief quick?
Yeah, we don't want him to come up here.
Let's finish.
Can hear the
Yeah,
elephant.
can we just do a quick brief with you, Michelle?
Sounds like it's just here.
Can hear that elephant trumpeting.
There he is.
See him?
Yeah.
Close, Brent, or?
Yeah, like just beyond the marula.
Is he coming this way?
And he's heading towards that gap in the two koppies.
Okay.
From all the sickle bush I can see moving now. Yeah. He's upset.
Yes, please.
Wait. Michelle, Andy. Come here quickly.
Okay, there I can see the sickle bush moving. Look at all the trees moving.
Oh, there he goes. Yeah.
How do you want to close off?
Okay. Well, we've just seen him moving off to the copy. We've
Can hear him.
Yeah, trumpeting away.
Yeah,
we've got.
He's not too chuffed.
We've got Joel and Michelle here. Quite a challenging collaring all round.
I think we identified it pretty early on when we said the unexpected typically happens, and we had that exactly. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen often, but sometimes the elephant just challenges the helicopter the whole time, and he won't turn around so that you can get a decent shot in. So we tried and we tried and we tried and we tried, and eventually he sort of turned sideways, and I tried to take a shot, and exactly with the downwash of the helicopter, the dart hit the downwash and just went straight down.
Is he coming back?
Yeah.
He was just rolling around there, beating up the tree there.
Sorry, I'll be on elephant watch while you carry on.
In good position. Yeah. Turns you ready, eh? That's what I mean. Are you ready to drive my car? Yeah, so I mean, we eventually got him to actually charge the helicopter and darted him straight down, like almost next to the skid. And I just went for, like, a part there on the back where we know there's decent muscle. And it was a bit of a Hail Mary, and both Jana and I were like, oh, hope this works. And then he started showing nicely, and it worked well. But he just went into some thick stuff, and it's just unfortunate. It's summer, we've had a lot of rain. It's a thick area. It is what it is, and you sort of just have to deal with it. And I think it was a perfect example. The teamwork was excellent, as long as you could have easily given up there, and the team was fantastic. We managed to get the collar on, so it's objective achieved. It was a little tougher than normal, but That's what keeps it interesting.
Called beer
Yeah,
urge.
exactly.
And Michelle, you happy with the placement of the collar in the end?
Very happy. Very tricky to put the collar on because he fell against this really Dichrostachys bush, which is like hell getting in there. But as Joel said, the team was amazing and perseverance, we got it on. So well done.
It's lovely that he fell in the thorns. That always happens.
Yeah,
Always
I think
happens.
everyone's got some. I saw your injury. I'm sure the viewers would like to see this.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Now we can see the color.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think all in all, wonderful, wonderful afternoon. Very challenging, but very successful.
And let's hope good things for the data now.
Absolutely.
Great. Thank you.
And a
everybody,
name.
really.
Should we stick
Yes.
to Waldo?
Come on, everybody. Every
Send through
single
some
one
names.
person in here needs a name
there any last
recommendation.
questions before
Yeah,
we-
any last questions? Now's your time. I think we're all going to start heading off and leave this guy in peace. So Connie
Thank
says
you all for joining.
managed beautifully. Huge well done to everybody involved.
Shout if there's any questions.
Barbara says, words cannot express
Yeah.
my gratitude for this experience. Thank you.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for the support and give us that name.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna stand up here. Okay, everybody. Well, I think, unless anybody's got
Any
last
more
I think it's
questions?
been quite an afternoon. It's
CJ liked the bonus of the ripped pants, I believe. That was not the objective today.
yes, very very nice. It sounds like a cookie bee, Waldo.
Waldo
I
seems
think
to be,
Waldo's
I mean,
the one
maybe
that's gonna
Waldo
stick.
is, huh?
It certainly gave us the runaround like a Waldo would do. Don't you think?
Absolutely.
Yep, Jules is saying yes, thinks it suits it. I think it suits it.
Waldo sounds great, man.
Waldo sounds great,
okay.
Michelle.
What about
Waldo? Waldo it is. Are we confirming?
We've got a thumbs
Woo! Yeah, Waldo it is. Cookie bee. There we go. Now
got
that
it.
will make your day.
We've got it as a Waldo.
But a very, very big thank you to everyone for
Yes,
joining us. A
thank you.
huge thank you for helping us with the collaring of this elephant, with supporting us with tickets.
Yes.
Thank you for all your questions. Thanks for the support. Thanks for everything. It's been an incredible afternoon,
Yeah.
and hopefully we can do this again sometime soon.
Yeah, and please, if the biggest takeaway you have is to tell your friends and family how much effort goes into these collarings, and everybody really is fighting on the ground to keep these elephants safe. And I think the more that we can educate people to the amount of effort going in and what it really takes to save elephants, the better. So please tell your friends and family, and really hope you've enjoyed the show. So thank you very much. Okay, peace out from us.
Yeah.
Bye.